You look pretty stiff, actually. Maybe you need to do some stretching.
Hi there, I'm trainer Julia, coming to you from Qualicum Beach, and I'm outside today and I'm going to do some stretching and movement exercises specifically for people who work in an office environment. Now, if you work in an office like I do, you spend a lot of time hunched over like this, really bad for the posture, bad for the neck, the shoulders, the back. And when you're taking a break or when you're outside of work, it's a really good idea to spend 15 or 20 minutes doing movements that help relax certain muscles, strengthen certain muscles, and also kind of to do the opposite of what you're doing all day in work, which is more like this. We want to open up like this. So without further ado, we're going to do about 15 to 20 minutes of movement and stretching for people who work in the office. Okay, we're going to start out with our first exercise, just a simple chin tuck. It's exactly as it sounds. Stand erect and tuck your chin back, and you will feel as soon as you do that it starts to stretch out the muscles in the back of your neck, which are very often tight when you work in an office. This is a great stretch to do anytime. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Continuing on with stretches for the neck, stand erect and tilt your head gently to the right side and then to the left, holding each side for about 20 to 30 seconds. You can stretch out the arm, the same arm as the side of your neck that you're stretching as you tilt it to the side, which will help elongate and make the stretch a little bit more intense. Stretching should never hurt. It should always feel good and comfortable. So hold them longer if it feels comfortable, or pull back a bit if you feel any kind of a strain. It should never hurt. Here's one final excellent stretch for your neck. Standing straight, look straight to your right and hold that pose for 20 to 30 seconds, and then look to your left and hold it for the same amount of time. Stretch only as far as it's comfortable and hold for as long as it feels comfortable. This is an excellent stretch for your neck to help loosen up those muscles that get so sore and tight when you're hunched over at your desk. Do this one regularly as well. It's very beneficial. Okay, moving on to the shoulders. Shoulder rolls, a very excellent exercise to just open up the chest. Do it anytime you have a few minutes break at work. Just stand up, look out the window, and take deep breaths. Shoulder rolls backwards, shoulder rolls forwards. Really helps open up especially the pectoral area, and helps us a lot when we're scrunched over our desk all day long. It opens us back up again. Shoulder rolls, very important. Okay, next we're going to work on some side stretches. Again, because we're hunched over and small all day long, we want to elongate our bodies when we're stretching out as office workers. So definitely a very good side stretch like this on both sides. Feels really good, helps elongate those muscles, especially the muscles around the core and the diaphragm, which of course we don't really get to use very much when we're sitting in a chair. So I would do this one again regularly when you have any time, a few moments break from work. Stretch one side really well and then the other. Again, you may notice an imbalance. You can probably go further on one side than the other, so do work on that over time. But again, side stretches, excellent opening up exercise for office workers to do anytime they have a chance. Next, we're going to do a nice pectoral stretch of the chest muscles. Standing erect, looking slightly upwards, putting our arms about mid-range through the body and then pulling them back until you feel that stretch in your chest. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds or longer. Feels great. Stretch out those pectoral muscles. Okay, this is kind of a goofy looking move, but it's called a shoulder rotation, and apparently it is a very, very good thing to help us with movement around the shoulder. As you know, when you're working in an office, you actually don't get to expand and move your arms around very much, so it's important to go through all the shoulder motions to help warm things up when you're not sitting at your desk. So again, shoulder rotations looks exactly like it is. Move shoulders up and down, meeting in the middle. One of the things that we can definitely do to help us out is strengthen our core. The Superman is an excellent exercise. I'm doing it here from a crouched position that strengthens the muscles of the back. These are the muscles that help us get up, move around, do everything we need to do, and they don't get exercised when we're sitting at our desk at the office. So practice this move to help strengthen your back muscles and overall your entire core. It feels really good. Okay, this exercise is called a head float. Lie on your back with your knees up and simply lift your head and hold it for a few seconds, drop it down, rest for a moment, and repeat. It's an excellent exercise that helps strengthen the muscles in the back of your neck, and it's excellent for people who have any kind of postural issues or issues related to hunching over a desk. Definitely one you should practice regularly to help keep those neck muscles strong and that posture nice and straight. Okay, the next stretch we're going to do is one of my favorites. It's called the cat-cow, which you're probably familiar with if you've taken any yoga classes. It's elongating your back up like a cat and then down like a cow, which is why it's called cat-cow. This is an excellent stretch. It stretches out all of the muscles that help support your vertebrae and really helps you to loosen everything up after you've been in a sitting position for many hours. It's a favorite among many people just to help loosen things up after a hard day, and you'll really find it's helpful. So just continue with the upward and downward motions and do not carry on to the point of pain, only to the point where it's a comfortable stretch for you. Okay, here's another stretch that many of you who do yoga will be familiar with. It's called Child's Pose. The great thing about Child's Pose is it stretches out all of the muscles in your back, along with the muscles in your shoulders and your upper arms and your forearms. And combined with that, it just feels really good to hold it. So do this stretch as part of your regular routine. You really will find it helps to loosen up the back muscles and the arm muscles and the shoulders, and it feels just great. So anytime you have a break, try it. This is called the cow face pose, and please don't ask me why. It has nothing to do with cows, and you don't actually face in front. But what it is a very good indicator of flexibility in people. So try to reach up from one arm and down the other, and as you can see here, I can just meet my fingers in the middle and hold that for as long as is comfortable. Only go to the point where you can touch or get close to touching, and then switch arms. The amazing thing is, look at this, you can always usually touch more on one side than the other. It's used by trainers as a very excellent indicator of your overall flexibility. So give it a try, and you can also hold a towel if you need to, if you cannot get your hands that close together to begin with. Something to work on. Okay, along with stretching, we want to do movements that help open up our bodies and help give us better range of motion, especially after we've been slouched down at an office all day long. So I love doing arm circles on each side and in both directions, which help loosen up the shoulder muscles and even give us a little bit of stretching out in the upper back muscles and in the pectoral muscles. Just a great way to loosen up, especially if you're warming up to do some other exercise, or if you're right in the middle of a bit of a stretching routine. A great way just to loosen things up, and then try another stretch. Often after you loosen up, a stretch will be able to go further than it did before because you've loosened up and warmed up and lubricated those joints before you start again. So remember how I talked about how we're always crouched in when we're at the office, and what we really want to do when we're stretching and moving after work or on a break is to move up and open up. So I love this stretch. I reach my arms to the sky, I stretch out my underarm muscles, my chest muscles, my side muscles. Everything opens up and elongates, and it just feels great. Anytime you have a few moments, try this stretch. Here's another great movement that we want to do to open up our chest muscles, move around our shoulder joints, and also to protract the scapula, which are the bones on your back. This helps do all of those things. You can feel when you're pulled back, your scapula is pulled back, and when you're forward, it's pulled forward. A nice way to loosen up the muscles of the chest and back, and also to prepare yourself if you're going to be doing more activity, a great warm-up. It's a range of motion movement. Feels good. Okay, next we're going to do a piriformis stretch. The piriformis is a very tiny muscle located in the buttocks area. It's responsible for a lot of nasty problems that people have with their backs, including sciatica. It can cause spasms and a lot of pain. It's a muscle that often gets twisted up and tight, so it's a really, really good idea to stretch it out on a regular basis. And this is one of the best ways to do it. As you can see, you're on your back, you put one foot over the other, lift up with your hand, and then pull back on the leg until you feel the stretch. Again, you will feel this more on one side than you will on the other side. So try to work on the side where you don't have as much flexibility and hold it for as long as is comfortably possible. Try to work on this one regularly until you feel you have more motion coming back and until you feel it becomes more comfortable. Taking care of your piriformis is one of the most important things you can do to save you from having pain later on in your life with your back and the muscles and nerves in your legs. Here's another one of my favorite stretches. It's just a lower back stretch. Lie on your back, grasp both your knees, pull them up to your chest, and you can even roll a little bit from side to side to give yourself a little bit of a lower back massage. After a long day at work, many office workers complain of a tight and sore lower back. Stretching out your lower back is one of the best ways to alleviate this pain, and so I highly recommend this passive stretch regularly, especially if you have issues with lower back discomfort or pain. Okay, we're going to move into the hamstring stretch, which is lying on your back, lifting your leg up as straight as possible, hopefully straighter than mine, I'm not that flexible, and even pushing your toe in to give you that slightly more stretch down the back of your leg. That is where you will feel this. Pull back as much as feels comfortable and hold the stretch. Again, you will find one side is more flexible than the other. You may ask yourself, what do your hamstrings have to do with working in an office? Well, postural problems are often related to issues with the hamstrings, particularly that they're too tight, and it's one of the contributing factors to slouching and back pain. So please do this stretch on a regular basis. And by the way, it feels really good. Yay! When you're done your stretching and movement routine, stretch out your whole body. Lie on your back and stretch everything out from the tips of your fingers down to the bottom of your feet and the tips of your toes. It feels really good, and it's a great way to relaxingly end your stretching and movement session. So congratulations, you've done your complete routine. You're good to go. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that, and please practice those stretches and movements anytime, especially when you're feeling stiff and sore after a long day at the office. Thanks for watching. This is Trainer Julia saying please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed these videos, and have a fit day.